Anyway, today's scripture we see about guidance and like wife being submitting to husband, husband being the head of house, submitting to God and the church. And it doesn't necessarily mean that like submitting, like you do everything that that person says. It should be done in the eyes of the Lord, right? So how many of you ever seen those orders where like the most important things, it's like a hierarchy? Anyone know what's at the top? God, right? You see God, then family, and then sometimes I've seen like, job or country or other things that go on down, like small things in life, right? But the most important thing is God. And just how Christ submitted his life to the Lord and is the head of the church, right? He did everything in the eyes of the Lord and lived the perfect life and perfect example for us, how we should live and how we should do things in the eyes of the Lord, right? He submitted his life. So same thing goes within a household. Husband and wife should submit really to each other, right? We should follow in the eyes of the Lord and submit our lives to the church and to the Lord and submit to each other. It's all about doing things that are the best ways we can to live our life for Christ, and also in helping each other and being happy and healthy and having a good family and growing that family to serve and submit to the Lord, okay? Sometimes people, they see that word submit and they think, well, I'm the head of the household and you all do everything I say. It's not like that, okay? You have maybe a head of the household. In today's world, back in the old days, it was usually the man. But today's world, it could be man or woman. Society, we're very equal. But the important thing is that leader of the household and that family structure, the husband and wife, the mom and dad, guide the family in the ways of the Lord. And so when you see that hierarchy where the God is the top, that's what everything is done for, right? And you think about that, that's a pretty incredible thing. God asks us for 10% of what we earn, what we do, right? But he gives us 100% when we follow in his ways. And you also see that submitting in, Juan brought up the good example to me this morning about how before Jesus was persecuted, how he submitted to his disciples, right? Jesus was technically, if you want to look at the relationship, was, above, but he washed the feet of all his disciples, right? So not only did they submit to Jesus, but Jesus submitted to the disciples as well. And so this is the way we need to think of our lives, is God is the top, and we submit to the church and to God and live our life in that way. But then within the household structure, the husband and wife submit to each other and help each other and raise a happy, healthy family and do everything we can to help each other in the best ways possible under the Lord. And then underneath that, everything else falls into place. Your job, your country, everything else, your friendships and all that, hopefully all fall into place when you're serving the Lord as the top, and then your family, and everything else flows through with it. So the important thing is you submit to the Lord, right? Submit to God and your church. And then the family structure, you submit to each other, even children. Brother, sister, you should always submit to each other. Help each other, right? We're family, we're blood. And you help with your parents. Maybe you help do things around the house and stuff. That makes a happy, healthy family for everyone, especially when you live your lives according to the Lord. And then everything else, school, job, as you get older, all that stuff will naturally take place, and God will, as we know, guides us in his ultimate plan for us, right? So everything falls into place. So remember, God, family, and everything else will fall into place, whether it's your job, your country, your favorite sport team, whatever it is. Okay? All right, so Moksanem?